Coming up, a little girl snatched from a beach.
This is the first time we've got an independent witness.
Now, new leads.
The first one to say a teenager grabbed Cheryl.
Yes.
And a new search.
The scent will still remain in the soil.
In this 55-year-old mystery.
Just don't put it in the hard basket. Take another good look at it.
That's next on 60 Minutes.
55 years ago, 3-year-old Cheryl Grimmer was snatched from a Wollongong beach. It's presumed the little girl was murdered, even though her body has never been found. All these years later, the crime remains unsolved. But there's a disturbing twist in this case. A man has disclosed to police that he mercilessly strangled Cheryl. When taken to court, though, his confession was ruled inadmissible, meaning the self-proclaimed killer walked free. For the Grimmer family, not knowing where their precious girl is has meant more than half a century of torment. But as you'll see, they keep searching. They're volunteers preparing for a search that could and should have been done 55 years ago.
Team Romeo, radio check.
The hunt for 3-year-old Cheryl Grimmer, abducted from Ferry Meadow Beach near Wollongong on the 12th of January 1970.
Today we'll be focusing on searching the turpentine trees and the creek line.
Chris Darcy from Search Dogs Sydney is here with Cheryl's older brother, Ricky Nash. After 55 years, what are the chances of finding Cheryl?
Whilst the landscape might have changed, the scent will still remain in the soil. Rufus can definitely smell what is potentially still there.
I hope you don't find anything.
Why do you hope you won't find anything?
Selfish reason. If she's still alive, I hope we've got all this wrong.
Ricky, then just 7, was the last of his family to see Cheryl.
Tell me what.
Yeah, she was standing just over there.
As he told me in 2019, on his mum's instructions, Ricky, the eldest of 4, had taken his siblings to the change rooms while she gathered their things off the beach.
Why didn't you go in and grab her?
As a boy, I didn't want to go into the girls' shower block.
It makes perfect sense.
Not really now. I just wish I would have just reached in and dragged her.
Unable to coax his cheeky and playful sister out of the change room, Ricky then made the decision he's regretted ever since. He left Cheryl to get their mum. In the 90 seconds it took him to get to the beach and back, Cheryl had disappeared.
I didn't know what abduction was or anything about taking a child. I didn't know anything about that.
Nothing for 47 years. And then, in 2017, an incredible breakthrough. The 2 detectives working the cold case, Frank Sanvitali and Damien Loon, uncovered this forgotten confession made by a 17-year-old runaway in 1971.
Have you seen this before? This is your confession where you tell police you strangled her.
For legal reasons, we're unable to identify him, but these are his words, laying claim to his vile act.
I came around from the back of the shower block and grabbed the little girl. I took her by the hand and put one hand around her mouth and carried her around to the sandhills.
Now retired, this is the first time the deeply respected former detective Damien Loon is prepared to speak about the case on Australian television. Was it a matter of taking that confession at face value and just acting on that?
I can tell you now, we tried our hardest to prove that this confession was made up. And there wasn't one iota in that, not one word that we could throw out, because everything that he had said, it was true.
You have no doubt that he was confessing to murdering Cheryl Grimmer?
No doubt. And he even said he took her for the purpose of having sex with her.
Did you have sexual intercourse with her?
No,
Would you like to tell us why you changed your mind?
because she started to scream. She would not be quiet, so I put my arms around her throat and strangled her. I left her lying on the ground at the side of a tree.
when the case went to trial 2 years later in 2019, the judge would not allow the damning confession to be included because the then 17-year-old, police call Mercury, didn't have an adult carer present. Back then, it wasn't a legal requirement. But with no confession, no body or DNA, there was no case.
How do you tell a family that this matter's been tossed because of a technicality?
And you had to do that.
I had to do that. I was so deeply concerned for the family. And I think all good cops have got a good caring bone in their body, and I think I've got one, I think.
Maybe more than one.
Maybe more.
Making it so difficult to accept is how watertight the case seemed.
Where does he say he was that day?
He said he was sitting around about where I'm pointing now. There's a...
How the detail Mercury provided eerily matched what happened on the day.
She had a drink at the water fountain. Someone lifted her up, I think.
So Ricky, the older brother, picks her up to have a drink from the water bubbler. And Mercury sees that, which is very, very damning.
Because that wasn't public knowledge.
So he couldn't have known about that.
For me, when I first saw him, I thought he looked a bit out of the ordinary. I could see he wasn't a surfer or anything like that.
Then there was this eyewitness, Peter Goodyear, who describes seeing a man hanging around the toilet block as he waited for his wife to change.
So I sat on the wall a few seconds maybe, and I went and walked over to the fence.
The key here is Mercury told police he had seen a man matching Peter Goodyear's description, sitting outside the cubicles, a man he had to avoid when he snatched Cheryl.
The critical point is that Mercury, the suspect, says that Mr. Goodyear was there.
Absolutely. He says he sees him there.
Yeah.
And he says, I've got to put a hand over her mouth. She screams, he's going to look up and see me.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm certain I saw the guy that took her in the afternoon after we were at the beach all day with my mum and dad and my sister.
Now there is this fresh information from someone who wishes to remain anonymous. He was 7 at the time and recently shared on the Cheryl Grimmer BBC podcast Fairy Meadow the disturbing detail of what he saw that day at the beach.
And I heard sort of yelling and screaming. I look around, glance behind me, and I see, I don't know, 15, 16-year-old adult in sort of full stride with this baby in his arm at his hip, and she was sort of thrashing with her legs.
Damien has spoken to this new witness and finds his account highly credible.
This is the first time we've got an independent witness to say, yes, there was a young boy here at that time.
So he's the first one to say a teenager grabbed Cheryl.
Yes.
Which ties in with the confession of the 17-year-old.
Yes, it does. Very important.
Not far from Fairy Meadow Beach, this sniffer dog team has volunteered to search this area because this is where Mercury says he murdered and dumped Cheryl.
One of the police officers.
It's not an easy day for Cheryl's brother, Ricky Nash.
What is it like for you to be here knowing that this place featured so heavily in the confession?
One of sadness for me and our family, and she was brought here.
And you believe that confession, don't you?
Yep.
Ready, search.
So much is riding on finding a magical new piece of evidence outside the unusable confession that could reactivate the Cheryl Grimmer case. Rufus works hard and finally, against all odds, finds something of interest.
Just let everyone know that we're shouting it.
Police are called, but the heart-stopping discovery turns out to be animal bones.
Wait.
For Damien Loon,
She'll always be remembered here.
who is calling for a fresh inquest into Cheryl's disappearance, this should not be the end.
Just don't put it in the hard basket. Take another good look at it and never give up.
So you believe after all this time, answers are still available in the Cheryl Grimmer case?
Absolutely they are.
New South Wales Police says there's $1 million reward for information that helps solve the Grimmer case. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.